Our next topic here is to talk about something called the cross product of two vectors. And so suppose we're given two vectors. Suppose vector v1 is a1i plus b1j plus c1k, and vector w is a2i plus b2i plus c2k. So we have two vectors, and we're going to talk about computing something called the cross product. All right. First off, in symbols, the cross product is pretty straightforward. V, the symbol for the cross product is an X or a cross. So that's the symbol for the cross product. Sometimes this is called, particularly by physics people, since this is sometimes also called the vector product. The reason for that is when you compute the cross product of two vectors, your result is another vector. Remember, that is not the same as the dot product. The dot product, when you form the dot product of two vectors, the result is a scalar. That's why the dot product is sometimes called the scalar product. The cross product is sometimes called the vector product. I will use the terminology cross product and dot product, as that's probably the most standard from the mathematics point of view. Physics tends to use the phrase vector product and dot product, or vector product and scalar product. So we're going to talk about how to do this computation if you're given two vectors. The actual computation is rather involved. This is, strictly speaking, the computation. You take b1 times c2 minus b1 times c2 minus b2 times c1 times vector I plus, and then times vector j is a1 c2 minus a2 c1, and that's times vector j plus, and then times vector k, that's a1 b2 minus a2 b1, and that's the official definition. That just is a bunch of gobbledygook. That's correct, it can be done, and some people learn it this way, but it turns out there's a rather easier way to do this. And so what we're going to do is take a little bit of a diversion into another notion called a determinant, get a few tools, and we're going to find out there's a much easier way to do this process. It ends up getting the same final result, but it's rather more easy to work with, and there's a nice memory device to be able to, so that it's not a big memorized contest, it's a straightforward computation. So what we're going to do next is take a small little diversion away from this and introduce something called a determinant. When we get those skills, then we'll come back and talk about the cross product some more.